Hey everybody, welcome back to Lyle at C&S Corvettes in Sarasota, Florida. Hey, listen, I know this isn't my normal format and we don't have the cool introduction and we don't have all that stuff, but I'm doing what I can because my IT guy, Alan, who edits and films and does all the stuff with our videos, is currently out sick. So I didn't want to not give you guys a video today because I know we kind of cruised through the holiday with very little material. Anyway, I have gotten a lot of messages from people this week as everybody comes back to work and comes back from the holidays that got new Corvettes or new to them Corvettes over the holiday. Either they were gifts or the dad gave it to them or willed it to them or they went and bought one and they found a good deal during the wintertime. Whatever it was, they were able to procure a new Corvette. And so I've got a whole bunch of questions to answer on email, which is awesome. No problem doing that. But I thought I'd go through briefly the main things you need to do when you first get a new to you Corvette, okay? So before we even think about what we're going to be doing to the car, we got to talk about what happens if you go to pick up this car, whether it's at somebody's house or a dealership or whatever. Once you've signed the papers and you own that puppy, long before you get into the driver's seat and putter away, there's a few things you really need to do. Number one, open the hood, check the oil. Make sure that it's at the correct level. Go ahead and look through the side of the coolant overflow tank, make sure that there's coolant in it and it's the correct color. Open the brake reservoir, make sure there's brake fluid in there. I guarantee it'll be dirty, but we can address that later in step 3. Also check the tire pressures all the way around the car before you get on the road. Getting into a car you've never driven before, especially a 20 or 30-year-old car that you've never driven before, and going any distance without first knowing those things is kind of like going into battle with an untested firearm. You may only ever do it one time. It is not a good idea. Assuming that all the levels are good and you get safely home and you park your new baby in the garage and you look over at it as it sits under the light in the garage and go, ah. The very next thing you do is you go in your house, you find a comfortable chair, get yourself a beverage, and read the owner's manual. Don't skim it. Don't look for particular things that you're interested in. Start at the beginning, read all the way to the end. They aren't terribly long, and a lot of the stuff goes pretty quickly. But if you really want to know what your car is all about, and you want to learn what it can do, what it can't do, and what you shouldn't do, most importantly, the best way to do that is to read the owner's manual. Once you've read the owner's manual, the car's home, everything's fine. The first action you want to do is you want to go ahead and change all the fluids in the car. That's coolant, brake fluid, clutch fluid if it has a clutch, differential fluid, service the transmission, power steering fluid, and brag back to brake fluid flush. That is the most important one because we don't want those passageways in your ABS pump to get all gummed up with garbage and then you have problems with your ABS system right away. So you get through all of that stuff. While they're doing that, you're going to have whoever's doing this, even if it's you, make sure you check all the belts, check all the hoses, check the thickness of the brake pads, check the surface of the rotors, both front and rear, face and backside, to make sure that you don't have something that is digging into your rotors. You want to make sure that the rotors are evenly wearing, you got plenty of brake pad left, and that the rubber on the hoses and the belts is happy. Last thing, odds are you didn't buy a car that needed tires, but you may have. Or you may have thought you didn't need tires, and then on closer inspection, yeah, you kind of do. When you have your tires done, make sure to get in alignment right away. Most places do both things, so when they put your tires on, have them align it because you don't want to prematurely wear brand new tires. If you have brand new tires on the car that you just bought, I would still recommend you go get it aligned so that you don't prematurely wear the tires that are on the car already. Once those things are done and out of the way, you should be ready to have some smooth sailing and a regular car ownership experience from that point forward. But don't shortstop any of these things. They are all important. Most people say they do them and don't. Don't do that. Actually do them. You will be happy that you did. The satisfaction of knowing that you are driving a car that is safe and healthy and most likely will get you where you're going, stop, start again, and get you home. That's a good feeling to have. And we really want you to have a good feeling in your Corvette all the time. I'll be back next week with more in-depth stuff. Hopefully Alan will be back and not be sick. We can do a much cooler, much more technically proficient video. Beyond that, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you had a wonderful holiday and a happy new year. And I will see you guys again very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Have a good day.